That was dumb. Hello, PO class. It's me. In my movie, I'll be speaking on the lost story of Putin's time in the KGB and now his time of corruption in politics. Because as we all know, Putin is a terrible person and therefore should not be admired. I chose him because, as we know, he's relevant now because, Ukraine war, and because he was a KGB agent. Well, I find it very interesting. Anyways, let me set the scene for you. December 5th, 1989, Dresden. The communist state of Germany is slowly losing its power as the democratic movement of East Germany grows and grows. A massive protest takes the street. The East German KGB officers and police are helpless to stop it. Some of the protesters left the main group to head to the KGB headquarters in Dresden. Putin, a young man at the time, having served in Dresden since the mid-80s, knows how dire the situation truly is.
Нет. Sie kommen aus. Protester. Kommend in früh. Kommend früh zu Jungen.
Thinking quickly, he calls up the Red Army tank unit stationed only a few miles away from him. They respond, "We cannot do anything without orders from Moscow, and Moscow is silent."
Vergifst dir!
Shortly after this call, Putin and his comrades would enact a policy of destroying all KGB evidence that they have collected over the years and burn them to an absolute crisp. He left the city of Dresden and returned to the motherland, now seeing the true destruction of the democratic West on the East. Putin absolutely despised the idea of German reunification and the Western influence on the Eastern Bloc in general. When he was sent back to Russia, he saw Russia corrupted by the West. Gorbachev was just too soft of a leader for the Soviet Union. Leningrad became St. Petersburg, red became blue, and Putin's hair became non-existent. He was offered a prestigious role of a taxi driver, but soon he had realized where he was needed most, that role being politics. Putin entered politics in a party that was made of former Soviet politicians and KGB agents who yearned for the days of the old USSR. When Putin was elected in 2012, he made radical reforms to the Russian government. The most major one of all of them was a 2008 Russian military reform, which actually started in 2009, but Russians aren't too good with their dates, so we're just going to leave it. This reform made it so the Russian military was shrunken to make it easier to communicate through the ranks, which I believe is done because of Putin's time in Dresden. Moscow was silent. Well, this reform made it so Moscow will never be silent again. Look, we all know about Putin's electoral corruption, but how did it come to be? During the late 1990s and into the 2000s, Russia received a large monetary benefit from its offshore oil rigs as the Iraq War was brewing with the US and Iraq. This money was used to influence elections all over the world to hopefully elect more pro-communist parties in those said states. But what about Putin himself? How does he do it? Well, it's rather simple. He hires these secret police, where I've heard that one before, that go into the ballots and vote for him. But that's not the only thing they do. They also force others into voting him as well. This can be through the act of violence or the act of violence. As you can see, Putin's not very imaginative. Yes, Putin always has been a really terrible person. I know, shocking revelation. An absolutely vile one, truly. And now with the Ukraine war in full swing, and him looking even more imperialistic, it seems that we are now even closer to a new world war. Not trying to, scare anybody. Anyways, that's all the time I have. So, we're doing one of these in A push. See you next year.